Hi everyone, Brian from Variable Traders here. It is the weekend, April 16th, and this is of course the weekend video. We'll take a look at what happened last week in the markets and then look ahead and see what we got coming up this week. Lots of earnings on deck, some interesting ones like Netflix, Tesla, some more bank earnings, and yeah, so let's get down to it. Okay, so let's start out by taking a look at what happened last week in the markets, April 10th. Week of course, this last week we had the CPI data came out on Wednesday, just slightly lower than expected, which was a little bit of a boost for the market. It wasn't really that much lower. It was 5.5 versus 5.6, but we're still a long way from this 2% goal that the Fed wants to get to. So still a lot of work to do, and that's basically what the Fed heads are saying here. There's still an odds-on for another rate hike here as we come up to May, the May meeting. There's going to be probably another 0.25% rate hike despite all the stuff that's coming out. We did get a weaker than expected retail sales number on Friday. Again, sort of signs that consumers pulling back a little bit, and but still inflation still running high, and of course oil prices starting to creep back up. Oil prices in my mind are one of the biggest drivers of inflation because they touch just about everything. Anything that you buy, grocery store stuff, all has to be transported. And if those costs go up, that's going to be passed on. So Friday's earnings releases showed a few of the big financials, good results, particularly JPM. Of course, they exceeded expectations and the share price made a really nice move higher on that. So a good way to kick off earnings season for the bulls. You can see that we did finish slightly up on the week with all the indexes, IWM up the most, the Dow up pretty over 1%, and then the Qs and the S&P under 1%, but nonetheless up on the week. Energy and financial materials, I mentioned earlier, energy, basic materials, all real strong gainers on the week. A lot of stuff to do with weakening US dollar there. Real estate and utilities were the losers. Interesting. Real estate, lots of talk about commercial real estate concerns there, that some of the banks exposed to commercial real estate, which isn't in good shape right now. So, and utilities, of course, a safety trade, but down on the week. Treasuries, they did move up slightly as we saw the inflation numbers come in. So, and the 10-year was up slightly as well, but I'm not really sure if that's maybe a significant move one way or another. We'll look at the chart in a minute. US dollar, again, down a little on the week, not a lot, but still under pressure there. Bitcoin was up big. It should be bog. It should be big. It's up over 30,000, and we'll take a look at where it's trading right now as we get into some of the charts. And before we get into looking at some charts here, as always, like to throw in a quick plug for my book on Amazon, Profiting as an Active Trader, a guide to trading tools, money management, rules, strategies, and the routines of an active stock and options trader. That could be you. So if you're interested, check it out there. It is available on Amazon. So let's get down and start looking at some charts here. As I mentioned here, we've got the Treasury really not doing too much. The 2-year, it's sort of just chopping in a range for the last couple weeks here, over a month now. Not making headway one way or another, thinking maybe that their interest rate sort of moves are topped out. The 10-year really dropped a bit, and we are still sort of trading in this range as well, so no big movement there yet. I'd be watching. I am essentially long bonds, which I'm expecting I'm doing it through options, and I'm hoping that the interest rates just don't move very much because the options will expire worthless on the TLT. Transports, you can see here, really on the day we didn't we were well off the high of the day. We did open up pretty strong and then sold off on Friday, so you can see here on a week, we are sort of getting, if you can pretty much picture that we are forming a pennant here, and we'll just be waiting to see based on earnings probably which way this transports chart will go, prices will go. The Dow, again, nice move up on the week, a bit of a pullback on Friday after this nice move on Thursday. And again, here we are sort of sitting at a level where we could break out from here. Again, a bit of a pennant pattern there on the weekly chart, but we are up into an area of resistance. Like a lot of these indexes we'll take a look at here shortly. We are up into an area where there has been prior resistance, so it'll be interesting to see which direction we take. I think again it's going to depend a lot on what they say on earnings. Again, same comment on the Qs. You can see here we are up into an area which was prior resistance here last couple weeks ago, and then you've got some resistance here. So getting a little toppy. Weekly, we not bad on the volume side. Still a little bit light. The SPY, again, you can see here right up into an area of resistance. We'll look at it on a weekly. Again, right up to this area of resistance here, and it'll be interesting to see which direction we go. Volume, again, pretty light on the SPY. You can see here volume was bigger and back in these, and this was a shortened trading week prior. So you can see here momentum's favoring to the upside. So it does look like odds on we are going to go higher here. IWM, again, we just seem to be range bound like we were a lot of 2022, just seem to be stuck in a range here. And you can see this 200-day moving average is definitely an area to watch. IWM, again, just sort of really range bound here. And again, it's heavily weighted on small caps and regional banks. Of course, regional banks have been doing very poorly, so you can see that with that candle there. And again, probably not going to do well in recession. Volatility is just literally falling out of bed here. I mean, there's just no fear in the market in terms of any kind of a sell-off according to the options traders. You can just see here there's just absolutely zero fear in the market, which gives me some sense that I think the market does want to go higher. So here we are. You can see here the dollar was pretty weak over the last 3 or 4 days. Had a nice comeback up here on Friday, but again, we still seem to be in a bit of a downtrend, which is good for things like gold and emerging markets. Again, on the week, just down slightly on the dollar. Bitcoin is trading around 30,355. Amazing move up, and again, just sort of seems like it's the modern day gold people go to when there's risk. They feel there's risk in the dollar. So the Bitcoin's been doing really well, and it continues to move up here through this 30,000 level, kind of a psychological level. Next area of resistance could be in around sort of this another whole number, 35,000. So let's take a quick look at some stocks that I'm watching here. You can see there's Apple. I've been keeping an eye on this one. I mean, this 167.50 seems to be an area that it's trying to challenge again here. You can see not great volume on Friday. Of course, it was a Friday. Again, the weeklies, it just looks like we're getting ready to move up here into the 170 level. And again, volume not great, but and stochastics really overbought here, but that doesn't mean it can't go higher. So could be an interesting breakout trade on a Monday. Airbnb, I'm looking at Airbnb, is kind of interesting. It's travel seems to be still pretty strong. We've got an area here, this trading range right in this area from 115 to 125. It looks like it's coming out of this sort of trading range here and getting ready to break out into this area here. This 115 level definitely is an area of could be a breakout, and so I'll be watching that 115 level on Airbnb if we can break through there and hold it. Amazon Amazon again, just a nice day Thursday and Friday. Follow through. Again, we're up into an area where there's some resistance around 104. So again, a break of 104 could be interesting. Boeing took a hit on Friday based on some more bad news with a supplier to the 737 MAX. Well off the low of the day. This 195 level looks like a pretty critical area here. You could sell some maybe some puts, and I'm thinking that Boeing, again, if we open up and market wants to go higher on Monday, I think Boeing will come back again, just based on their order book. They just have so many planes on order right now. Baidu is just in a it's in a funk here. Just continues to sell off. It's just been after it topped out here in March, end of March. It is at the 200-day moving average. I'd be looking for a bounce here. But again, I think it's still in a downtrend, and it could easily be heading down to this sort of 121, 122 area for the next area for a gap fill here from this gap. So I think it's going to fill the gap, might bounce, but might be an opportunity to short. Google, again, sort of same comment as Airbnb, which we've been trading in this range. Now we're getting ready to break out of here, 110, and then we could be coming up to sort of the 120, 122 area in this next trading range here. So Google looking interesting. JP Morgan, not a bad move, but again, I think some opportunity to maybe trade some options here, maybe sell some calls up around 142, 141, depending on what kind of premium you can get. Could be the significant area of resistance. So I've been in this gold trade for quite a while, not particularly Nugget. It's been some Canadian gold ETFs, but it's been a great run. I took a lot off on this push higher here, but still holding some. We may still get a pullback. We did get a pullback and a pretty nice comeback on Friday. So it showed you that not all down days are made equal. You can see how this came back, and it well off the highs. So I still think that this sector has a room to run here. I've got a number of trades on some junior gold miners, FOM on Canadian exchange as well, which has done really well. Nvidia, we're just range bound here, 280, 260. They don't report till the end of the month, so again, I think they're just going to chop sideways. But semis seem to be struggling here for some reason. Silver, again, solid uptrend, big pullback on Friday with the dollar popping back up a bit there. And Tesla reporting on, I believe it's Tuesday afternoon. No, Wednesday. But again, here, it looks a little weak to me. I had shorted some 200 calls last week. I had them short, and they expired worthless, because I think that's a huge area of resistance right now. But I definitely will not be playing Tesla into earnings. I won't have any position on when we go into earnings. As you know, I do not like to trade stocks into earnings. So just a crapshoot. So that's it, everybody. So let's wrap things up here. A week coming up, April 17th. You can see here's the indexes where they are right now, support and resistance levels as follows. We're up near some resistance levels here, and particularly on the Qs and the SPY, looking like they're maybe going to break out here. We'll see what happens next week. Earnings can change a lot of that, but so far so good. And economic events. We don't have a lot going on this week. We do have some Fed heads speaking. We've got housing starts and permits on Tuesday. We've got jobless claims, as always, on Thursday, Philly Fed survey, and 10 a.m. Some leading economic indicators could move the markets a little bit during that time. 9:45 on Friday, we have S&P services and manufacturing PMI. So those are the economic events. And you can see here earnings coming up this week. Of course, we're now into earnings season. We got Schwab on Monday. That should be interesting before the market open. JB Hunt after the market close, one of the transports. So Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, some big banks again on Tuesday. Netflix after the close, Tesla after the close here on Wednesday, Thursday, more interesting stuff. American Express, Taiwan Semi, BlackRock, some more trains, CSX and UNP on Thursday. So a whole bunch of earnings coming up, and of course we'll be into earnings season for the next couple of weeks. So it should give some direction to the markets, whether these outlooks are positive or negative. So that's it. And hope everybody's had a good weekend, and we'll see you 8 o'clock. We start out with Engineering the Markets live on YouTube, and pre-market show at 8:30, then Trading the Market Open at 9:30 with our members. So hopefully we will see you there. Have a good one, everybody. Bye for now.